who was able to dodge that head smash. That's big as Jasmine goes for the explosion next, but without the damage from the... Hi friends, my name is Legally Frankie, and welcome back to Gotta Drag 'Em All, my future Emmy award-winning series that has the bottom queens of an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race battle it out in a 6v6 Pokemon battle to see who sashays and who shantes. In our last episode, we saw Jasmine and Mrs. Kasha Davis land in the bottom, with Jasmine able to win her second battle to send Kasha home to Mr. Kasha Davis, leaving us with just 9 queens left in the competition as we explore episode 6, Rue Hollywood Stories. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for the most riveting Pokemon and Drag Race content on the mother-tuckin' planet. Now, the original bottom 2 of the episode were Jaidynn and Candy, but since Candy was actually first out of our season, we'll need someone else to take her spot in the bottom, and I think of the queens we have left, Jasmine will unfortunately land there, as we've seen that she's not the strongest in acting challenges, whereas queens like Trixie and Tempest, who we didn't actually see in the original episode, are more comedically oriented, so I think they could rise to the challenge. Since Jasmine seems to be collecting bottom placements like Infinity Stones, we know exactly what her team looks like. As a reminder, she has a powerhouse of a team with Pokemon like Pheromosa and Hoopa. But if you want a refresher as to how I chose these Pokemon, go check out episode 3, where she first lands in the bottom. But while Jasmine has been in this position before, this is Jaidynn's first time in the bottom, so let's take a look at her runways from the season. First off, we have her entrance look, her spring and fall runway, her nude look, jet set, and bearded and beautiful runways. Then we have her green runway, Despy, Death Becomes Her, leather and lace, and conjoined twins look with Tempest, with her finale look right there in the middle. Now with these looks in mind, we can start taking a look at her team, which starts with Starmie, who I chose based on Jaidynn's spring runway, with the purples and the golds. Starmie is a really fast special attacker that gets access to some great moves like Psyshock and Thunderbolt. Since its defenses aren't the best, I decided that it should hold a Wakan Berry, which will cause one incoming electric attack to do half the damage. Next, we have Garchomp, because Jaidynn's pose in her jet set look with her hands on her hips sort of looks like Garchomp's bluish arm fins, and of course, Garchomp's horns on its head resemble jet engines. Garchomp is pretty fast and super strong physically, and while it has a decent HP stat, its other defenses are pretty mid. It's also holding a Choice Band, which means its physical attacks will do 1.5 times the damage. If left unchecked, this Landshark will absolutely tear through its opponents with ease. Next, we have Yanmega, who I chose based on Jaidynn's green runway, with black and green color palettes as well as matching funky eyewear. Yanmega is similar to Starmie in that it's a fast special attacker. Its ability Speed Boost means that for each turn it spends on the field, its speed stat is raised by 1 stage, meaning you cannot just let it chill on the field or it will outspeed everyone you love in life and smack them up with a Life Orb powered stab air slash. Next up, we have Slowbro, whose pink skin and beige underbelly reminded me of Jaidynn's Despy Awards dress. Slowbro is an absolute tank, with a great HP stat, good defensive stats, and a respectable special attack stat. An Assault Vest helps to bring its special defense up even higher, and its ability Regenerator means that each time it switches out, it heals for 1/3 of its health bar. Next, we have Incineroar, who I chose based on Jaidynn's Death Becomes Her look. Now, Incineroar is one of, if not the most powerful Pokemon in all of competitive Pokemon battling. Not because its stats are anything crazy. Now, they're good, but no. What makes Incineroar so good is twofold. One, its ability Intimidate, which lowers opponents' attack stats whenever you switch in. And 2, its access to moves like Fake Out, U-Turn, and Flare Blitz. This Incineroar will also be holding a Citrus Berry to give it even more staying power. And lastly, to round out Jaidynn's team, we have Ludicolo, whose Pokedex entry says that it becomes very energetic and active when it hears upbeat music, and Jaidynn definitely embodied that too, as she was absolutely a fierce lip syncer on Season 7. Ludicolo is somewhat of a support Pokemon for Jaidynn. It doesn't have the best stats, but with moves like Fake Out, Toxic, and Leech Seed, coupled with Leftovers, it should be able to hold its own throughout a battle. As a whole, Jaidynn's team is actually super threatening with 2 Fake Out users in Incineroar and Ludicolo. Incineroar's Intimidate ability will also help ensure physical attackers aren't running rampant. Starmie and Yanmega are both really fast, and Yanmega will be able to come in, outspeed the opponent, and U-turn out to maintain switch initiative. Lastly, you have Garchomp, who is incredibly strong physically, and Slowbro with Regenerator, who will be able to come in and soak a whole bunch of attacks and heal it right back up each time it switches out. Alright, it looks like our trainers are just about ready for their battle. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Mamoru, over to you.
Jane Dior Fierce. My dear, I'm sorry, but you're up for elimination. Jasmine Masters. I'm sorry, my dear, but you are up for elimination. 2 queens stand before me. This is your last chance to impress me and save yourself from elimination. The time has come.
Pokemon battle.
For your life. Good luck, and don't it up.
Jaidynn leads with Incineroar, while Jasmine goes with Pheromosa. Immediately, Pheromosa takes 37% from that Fake Out, and Jaidynn at this point switches Slowbro in to take that Focus Blast like a champ. Meanwhile, Jasmine brings in Muck and is fortunately going to eat a Scald and gets burned for it. Muck decides to stay in though and go for a Body Slam and gets the paralysis on Slowbro, but is going to go down to a super effective Psychic. Pheromosa comes in and threatens Slowbro out as Jaidynn sends in Yanmega, but Pheromosa pivots out into Sudowoodo with that U-turn. Now, Jaidynn pivots Yanmega out and brings Slowbro back in, who is able to dodge that Head Smash. That's big as Jasmine goes for the explosion next, but without the damage from that Head Smash, it's not enough to KO the Slowbro. In comes Electros for Jasmine, and Jaidynn swaps in Garchomp, who eats a big knockoff. Jasmine is actually forced to stay in here and chip away at Garchomp as nothing else on her team wants to endure a Dragon Claw. And on this next turn, down goes Electros. This allows Pheromosa to swap in safely and actually get that revenge KO on Garchomp. This is not looking good for Jasmine, who is down to 3 Pokemon to Jaidynn's 5. Pheromosa eats a Fake Out, flinches, gets a Bug Buzz off on Incineroar, but then goes down to that Flare Blitz, and Jasmine's down to 2 Pokemon. Incineroar goes for the Flare Blitz, but then will go down to a close combat from Machamp. At this point, Starmie comes in and gets the revenge KO on Machamp. This is looking dire for Jasmine as Hoopa is her last Pokemon. Hoopa eats that Scald and goes for the Shadow Ball actually and takes Starmie out with a one-hit KO. Slowbro comes in next, and again, Hoopa wipes it out. Wait a minute. Ludicolo comes in, goes for the Fake Out, but Hoopa's a Ghost type. Hoopa's gonna get that Psyshock out. Magician is going to activate and steal Leftovers from Ludicolo. Ludicolo's Giga Drain does almost nothing, and it's going to go down to another Psyshock. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute, if Yanmega can survive an attack, it might be able to get... Ooh, Hoopa flinches! Oh my gosh, that is massive. At this point, Yanmega goes for another Air Slash and is able to take Hoopa out, and Jaidynn wins the battle.
Jane Dior Fierce. Shantae, you stay. Jasmine girl, sashay away.
What an absolute bonkers ending to that battle. Jasmine was down to her last Pokemon, and Jaidynn had 4, and it somehow came down to the last hit still. That flinch from Yanmega was absolutely necessary, as I don't think it could have survived an attack from Hoopa. Jaidynn got really lucky here and had the RNG gods definitely in her favor. The MVP of the battle has to be Hoopa, who took out Jaidynn's Pokemon back to back and nearly won Jasmine that game. Anyway, y'all, we're just about at the halfway point of the season here, so make sure you stick around to find out who goes home next as we gear up in 2 weeks for episode 7, Snatch Game. Bye!